Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome once again to the Pile on the Pylon podcast, where we love football and hate your opinion. Brought to you by Statement Games, where you make the statements and they reward you for the games. I am longtime host and hardly ever here anymore, Richard Bradshaw, joined with my good friends Donnie Druin.
Guess who's back again.
And Skylar Burkhardt.
PTP's back to the friend.
Get that hashtag trending on Twitter right now. Hashtag the return. Boys, it's good to be back.
It's phenomenal to be back, man. It's November. We don't have to worry about sweating balls out here in the garage anymore.
Yeah.
It's finally cool.
Good days.
The only thing that sucks is seasonal time. Richie's transitioning to a brand new department in Costco. Mm-hmm. So, unfortunately, my schedule's been super crazy. Thankfully, the boys back in the office have been able to carry the load for me, and shout out to everyone who's been on the podcast to help me out. In the meantime, boys, you've been doing a great job, but I'm glad I'm back here to take the reins, at least for this week.
We're very glad to have you back, man. We missed you.
I've missed you guys, too.
We missed our college episodes.
I know. I've been
No, we recorded one with Austin, and then it was actually a really good episode, and then it just didn't upload right for whatever reason, because it had that weird audio track.
For that one episode, the audio just wanted to screw us over.
I was mad.
Either way, though, this is going to be your NFL edition of the Pile on the Pylon podcast. There's lots to talk about. Last week, we weren't able to get anything done, unfortunately, that we were hoping to get done. So, we got lots of recaps coming for you. We're going to go over some trades, and then we're going to do some mid-season superlatives and awards. Boys, let's just go ahead and do a quick rundown. Go over Week 9, all the wins, all the losses, anything that stood out. Who wants to take that for me?
I'll go ahead and grab it. Thursday Night Football, my man Mullins. Is it Nate or Nick? I can't think off the top of my head.
Nate.
Mullins.
Nate.
It is Nick?
It is Nick.
Say Nick. Okay. Nick Mullins. His first NFL start, announced hours before the game started. Led the 49ers to a 34-3 win over the Oakland Raiders. Oakland's the best right now. There's no doubting that. John Gruden definitely hasn't lived up to any of the expectations. Bears smashed the Bills 41-9. I don't think there's any question of who's going to win that game coming into the week. Panthers winning the shootout 42-28 over the Buccaneers. Chiefs go on the road to Cleveland and upset.
Cleveland wasn't out of it for a while. I mean, they kept fighting, and Duke Johnson had a big game. So, I mean, they weren't out of it, and then they were at the end.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about Duke Johnson a little later on when we talk fantasy football.
That's good. 37-21 was the final score there. Dolphins beat the Jets in probably the most exciting game of the week, 13-6. Steelers get a victory over the Ravens, 23-16. Vikings get a 24-9 win over the Lions. Falcons go to Washington and defeat the Redskins 38-14. Texans barely beat the Broncos in overtime, 19-17. They're running a 6-game win streak now. Chargers quietly, nobody's really talking about those LA Chargers, baby. 25-17 over the Seahawks. Game of the week for sure. Saints up in the Rams. First loss. Oh, geez. Gives up the first loss of the season, 45-35. The Patriots beat the Packers on Sunday Night Football, 31-17. Is the GOAT debate over?
No.
It should have been.
Ooh.
As much as Twitter has gone crazy about it, it should have been over for others. Like, oh, this will predict the GOAT. This will end all arguments. No, it definitely didn't end it, but it should have.
I don't understand how a GOAT argument ends with a shitty Packers defense not being able to stop the greatest NFL player of all time.
And this is how it goes on forever and ever. There's always going to be an excuse for it's the defense, it's the coaching, yada, yada, yada. I was on a podcast the other night, the Celtics Pulse, and we kind of went off about that. And it was really annoying just be like, there's always an excuse for these quarterbacks. When can we just say, hey, they have the rings, they have the stats, let's just kind of match up and see where it goes from there. If you do it that way, it's Tom Brady for right now.
Unfortunately, I think the worst argument that goes into GOAT debates has to be, how many rings do you have? That's one of the reasons for tons of different sports that guys like Michael Jordan will stand out over a guy like LeBron James. Yeah. While LeBron was more talented, Jordan had more success in the finals.
Yeah.
That almost seems like this situation exactly. Who's the more talented guy? It's Rodgers. But who's the most successful and the most accolades? It's Brady.
But if we were just going by talent, talent. You can have as much talent in the world, but if you don't have success behind it, how are you considered the GOAT?
But football is the ultimate team game. You can't.
Yes, exactly.
It's so hard to compare a guy like Rodgers to Brady. But capping off Week 9, Titans beat the Cowboys 28-14 in Jerry World. Prescott just not looking like the quarterback he was a few years ago.
But Jerry Jones says he's going to be the future quarterback.
He did, and we'll see how long Jason Garrett can keep a job in Dallas. So
clap his hands.
Yeah.
We'll all be clapping our hands when he gets canned. That's for damn sure.
Did you see him clapping on the fourth down?
Yeah. Threw the ball in the back of the end zone and he's clapping. I'm like, that's ridiculous, man.
That dude is insane.
Couldn't be me.
Probably happy, but Dak didn't throw another pick in the double coverage of Kevin Byard.
How can you throw the double coverage when you can't throw past 15 yards?
That's a question for a friend of the podcast, Logan Bell.
Logan Bell. Shout out to Logan.
Missed you, buddy. All right. Any injuries we need to go over, boys? Anything stand out to you?
Yeah, just a couple I noted here. So Geronimo Allison, and Packers receiver, went on injured reserve. Sony Michel is back on track to return in Week 10. He suffered from a knee injury. Paul Richardson is going to get season-ending surgery. AJ Green with a toe injury is expected to miss, quote, at least 2 games. Hunter Henry has a outside chance, quote unquote, of returning from his torn ACL next month, and Chris Carson is not expected to have a very good workload this week in practice.
2 big names that you forgot. I don't have their names off my head, but both the Redskins starting guards are actually out for the rest of the season.
Brandon Scherf is one.
Yeah.
Is Sean Luavo the other?
I think so. But I know that ruins your Adrian Peterson right there. That's a big loss to their whole offense.
Well, Sheriff had a pec tear, and I think someone said it was grade 3, so he might not be back until training camp of next year. And that's if that recovery goes extremely well.
Yeah, and that's a Pro Bowl level player, too, that they lost.
They said it might have been minor, and he could have came back, but then after test results came in, they're like, you're done.
Thankfully for the Redskins, you have an offense that doesn't turn the ball over and a defense that's playing out of their mind right now.
Out of your mind.
Clinton Dix, too. Go alongside DJ Swearinger.
Just about the best safety duo I can think of in the league right now.
Can't tell you a better one right now.
Speaking of trades, we had quite a few last week. It's very uncharacteristic of the NFL historically, but the last couple of years, trades have become more and more a thing.
It was exciting, man. It felt like the basketball trade deadline, or even like the baseball one, if you want to compare it to other sports.
That's what it's felt like the last few years, because it felt like trades were so few and far between. In the last 2 or 3 years, we're getting all sorts of trades. It's almost like the NFL is realizing, hey, we need to start doing stuff like this in order to keep up with ratings.
I was about to say, yeah, even whenever we started the podcast, we've been blessed with like a really exciting offseason, and then it's carried over into in-season as well. So
it definitely has. So a few guys stood out over others as far as trade names went. We're going to go over just a couple. Let's go ahead and get the elephant out of the room. Amari Cooper looked great.
He looked great. Yeah, it was really nice to see him get the first touchdown of the game for the Cowboys on their first drive. Just the route running was there. It was nice to see him adjust to Dak Prescott's ball velocity already. So that was nice. I think he had the best debut out of anybody that got traded so far. I think he definitely benefited from the back-to-back bye weeks. His numbers were 5 receptions, 58 yards, and a touchdown, and I think he could be the number 1 guy that the Cowboys want him to be.
Something that I was talking to Logan about when that trade happened, because when you trade a first-round pick for a struggling receiver over his last year and a half, it's extremely frustrating, especially everyone wants to make a big deal. Oh, well, the Eagles got Golden Tate for a 3rd-round pick, and the Texans got Demaryius Thomas for a 4th or a 5th-round pick. Amari Cooper's 24 years old. Amari Cooper has 2 Pro Bowls in his first 3 seasons. Amari Cooper's still very talented. And like we talked about with the adjusting to the ball velocity, whether we want to make excuses for him or not in his shit hands, Dak's not throwing 100-mile-an-hour fastballs the way that Derek Carr is. He was used to catching balls from Jake Coker, Blake Sims, and A.J. McCarron in college.
Yeah, and unless the Cowboys really fell in love with N'Keal Harry, I don't think they would have been able to take a receiver after a spot. But one thing we pointed out a really long time ago, Amari Cooper's only 6 months older than rookie Calvin Ridley. And so you want to sit there and tell me that Amari Cooper, with him being so young, and we've already seen the kind of production we can do, would you rather have what you know? Or would you rather have the unknown?
And that's exactly what it is it turns into the Cowboys realized, at least within their front office, they did not see a receiver in this draft class who was better than Amari Cooper. And they would rather have Cooper than take a chance on a guy like A.J. Brown or N'Keal Harry or Marquise Brown or whatever else they see in the draft class. There's plenty of top-heavy names.
Sometimes you just need to go and get your guy. That's it.
Well, Cooper, Michael Gallup, and Allen Hurns present a solid receiving core for this year.
Yeah, Cole Beasley's a really good slot receiver, and Gallup looked great last night as well.
Cole Beasley seems like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, dude. One week he's dominating, the next week you don't even see him on the stat sheet. Don't know what his problem is.
I think it's the offensive coordinator.
I think that whole staff needs to go.
Yeah, I completely agree.
It should have went already. I don't know why it's taking so long for Jerry Jones to kind of man up and make a decision. This team is flailing. It's
because Jason Garrett's a yes man, and that's really hard to find nowadays. If you're an owner, especially the type like Jerry Jones, but why would you not want a guy like that?
Yeah, Jason Garrett is the ultimate puppet.
As long as Jerry's making money, and he's making a shitload of money, as long as he's making money, he's fine. These owners aren't necessarily in it to win Super Bowls, they're in there to make money. It's a business for them.
It definitely is. Break down Demaryius Thomas to the Houston Texans.
Ooh. So he got most of his work in the first quarter, and from the little bit of action that he did get, he looked great. I just think that he was kind of sent away on a short week. He didn't really get to divulge himself in the playbook, but I thought it was an acceptable debut for a guy in his shoes. Hopefully he's able to get more of the playbook. I saw DeAndre Hopkins was helping to work with him on the playbook in the offseason. The offseason, the bye week.
I love the trade. And Demaryius Thomas looked like he fit with that offense, and Hopkins loved it as well because we saw Hopkins got a lot more open looks because of Demaryius Thomas and his stature, what he's done in the past. So that really helped out this offense. And I think as he learns the playbook, it's just going to get even better for the Texans.
Deshaun Watson's really coming into his own, and getting him those big targets has been nothing short of phenomenal for his growth.
Yeah, I was about to say, you can tell the Texans realize, hey, now's the time. We have our guy. We have the offense to do it. We have the defensive places in peace. Let's go after it. They didn't sit back on their heels and say, oh, Will Fuller tore his ACL, Kiki Kuti, come on up, my man. No, they went out. They got a bona fide number one receiver to go along with DeAndre Hopkins. And, for an organization that's only 16 years old now, they're slowly starting to come in their ways, and it's really good to see.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
This is a team that perpetually has been one of the worst in the league. But like you said, they have the pieces in place. Why not go for it?
Yeah, Jacksonville's on the down year. The Colts can't seem to, teeter above the 500 mark. And then you really have to only worry about the Titans in that division. But
the Titans aren't doing anything.
Yeah, I was about to say, even the Titans aren't all that great. So
that whole division has so much talent, and they don't know what to do with it to get a win, it seems like. Because every one of those teams has so much talent, offense and defense, that they could win almost all their games, but they just can't put it together.
Yeah, that should be the most talented division in the NFL, and it is continually a dumpster fire. The Texans have every opportunity to win this division and maybe even get themselves a bye week, depending on if they can hop over New England.
If the AFC kind of falls into place like they can, at worst, they'll win the division, get themselves a home playoff game.
That seems like an easy lock at this point. I am curious, boys, who gets the 6th seed in the playoffs right now for the AFC? Chargers have to lock up the 5th.
Yeah.
Because the Chiefs aren't letting go of that division.
I don't know. I can see a team like the Bengals. If they're
I was going to say right now, Patriots, Chiefs, Steelers, and Texans win their division. Chargers nab the 5th seed for the playoffs, 6th seed, maybe the Bengals.
Why do I feel like the Steelers are going to be the 5th or 6th seed?
See, that's easily possible, too. The AFC North is still wide open.
Baltimore's technically not out of it.
Exactly. Despite Baltimore losing 3 straight, they're still right in the mix of things in terms of winning the division. And we saw with the Seahawks a long time ago. You can go sub 500, still win your division, then get that home playoff game like we talked about.
I think it's what the Bengals do without A.J. Green for the next couple weeks that determines this.
Yeah, so it's the 4 division leaders right now, like Richie said. Chargers have the 5 seed, and then the Bengals currently have the number 6 seed right now. Also in the hunt is going to be Miami, Baltimore, Tennessee, Jacksonville, and Indianapolis.
I think Miami's a wild card. Like a wild card like player, not like they're going to be in the wild card spot just because they're a lot better than people give them talent for. It's just their quarterback, whoever's at quarterback, it's really inconsistent. I think if they get Tannehill back, they get more consistent, and then they get more of a threat.
Miami doesn't scare me. The Ravens are right now the best team out of the mix of teams I just mentioned.
That's
Jacksonville,
not a good thing.
I know Jacksonville still they're a talented team, but they're 3-5.
They're inconsistent.
Who says that ship turns around like they need it to?
You have less than a 10% chance of making the playoffs if you're 3-5. Yeah. Historically, I don't see it happen. Fire Doug Marrone.
Oh, they
bring in someone new.
Yeah.
Get someone worth coaching your NFL team.
Well, just keep Leonard Fournette healthy, man. We quickly forget that this was a 2-minute Tom Brady game-winning drive away from the Jaguars going to the Super Bowl.
I think that would have been a better Super Bowl.
Harbaugh would be a good fit for Jaguars.
Why?
Running the ball. Because Harbaugh loves to run the ball, and he's got Fournette. Why not? That's a good fit.
Apparently, Harbaugh doesn't love to run the ball. Because against the Steelers, they were having really good success running it and just kept going to the pass.
That sounds like my Ravens offense, who ran the ball whole 2 times last week against the Panthers in the second half. 2.
Also, real quick.
Uh-oh.
What do you think of Lamar Jackson being put into packages? I understand that it's good to get him on the field as a playmaker, but I'm just giving you like my thoughts and opinions on it. I think at a certain point you want to get Flacco into a rhythm, and I feel like putting Jackson back there and getting cute with all these trick plays, I feel like it almost hurts Flacco.
Do you think it does? Because Taysom Hill for the Saints does the same thing, and the Saints offense is rolling.
The difference is Drew Brees doesn't have the confidence issues that Joe Flacco clearly has. My issue is not with getting Jackson on the field, it's the predictability. Because when Jackson is on the field, he has 5 pass attempts on a year. He's not going to throw the football.
Which they should involve.
They're going to run it.
Too.
It's becoming predictable every week. When Jackson comes on the field, you're going to play close and you're going to expect a read option. It's not going to be an RPO because he's not going to pass the ball. He's going to hand it up the gut to Collins, or he's going to take it outside himself.
So Cowboy predictable.
Essentially. Meanwhile, you're lining up Flacco at wide receiver for no reason because he legitimately does not get out of his stance. Completely lazy. And let's not forget last week against the Steelers, Lamar Jackson was wide open, which, maybe we should play him at wide receiver if he's going to get that wide open all the time. Flacco didn't even look his way. I don't even want to hear the fact that, he was just locked in his first read. No, that's complete pettiness on his half. Bench him. It's time. Start the Jackson era.
Hot take. I like it. Dante Fowler, what do you guys think of his debut?
He's still working in. I mean, he was just in for 3rd downs for pass rushing. He did play a big factor in the game, making Drew Brees uncomfortable, getting to him a couple times. And I thought it was good. It wasn't the debut I was expecting, but he does need to learn this new defense. So
yeah, I was about to say, we didn't get a whole lot of Dante Fowler last Sunday. In terms of just like producing, he wasn't extremely impressive, excuse me. Really, I only saw him in the backfield 1 or 2 times. But kind of like Demaryius Thomas, I mean, the talent's there. Just give him time to learn the system and learn the playbook.
Yeah, I agree. I think Demaryius Thomas is the biggest factor out of all the free agent, the trades, and he's going to give the most benefit to that team compared to the rest.
He's probably the best pass rusher they have on that roster, so it's just a matter of getting him acclimated to the defensive scheme itself. But Dante Fowler has also been a guy who consistently underachieves despite his talent level. He's also not the best locker room guy, which is just one more reason the Rams should let him go because there's already too many personalities in that locker room.
Rumor has it we're supposedly going to be signing him long term, which would be interesting because we get him on cheap. He wouldn't be too expensive, but it's just a matter of where his production is going to be.
Depends on your definition of cheap.
Exactly.
You're still going to be paying him $10+ million to have 14 sacks in a little over 3 seasons.
I mean, if that's our Super Bowl window, why not get our best pass rushing option?
We'll wait and see.
Yeah.
What the Rams are doing is completely selling out for Super Bowl, but you know what? Good for them.
Yeah, I like it.
You get a ring while a quarterback is on the cheap. The Rams are doing everything right, and clearly with an 8-1 record, they're in the driver's seat right now.
Speaking of the NFL, let's get into the midseason part of it. Let's get our predictions down. Let's see what we think of it so far. Donnie, let's start us off. Where do you want to go with it?
MVP. Who is your midseason MVP right now?
It's got to be Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, it has to be.
You could say Goff. That's not a wrong answer.
Or Todd Gurley.
No, it's funny. I've had a couple people go through mine. I've talked to a lot of people. Obviously, I want to say Gurley. Goff's been really good. I kind of want to say Kirk Cousins a little bit. Not as like the front runner of the MVP, but he's been doing great for that Vikings offense. Without him, I don't think we get as far as
Kirk Cousins.
I actually had him as one of my All-Pro for this year as well.
Did you really?
Yeah. I actually talked to Logan about it, and he said that actually isn't a bad idea as well. Just
all right, I want to see the evidence.
Yeah. After the podcast, show us.
Yep, I'm going to need a screenshot of Logan Bell saying that. Because if you don't think I'm going to rub his nose in that the same way I rubbed my girlfriend's nose in the shoes that she tore up last night.
Well, okay. All right. Whoa.
If I had to pick my MVP right now, I'm going to give Todd Gurley, though.
I don't think that's a wrong answer.
Yeah, no.
Gurley scored a touchdown in every year this year.
Yeah, it's not a terrible answer.
He's on pace for 30.
He could beat Tomlinson's record.
No, he won't. But he could get really close.
He's playing against Seattle this week, and he puts up big numbers against Seattle every time. So he could really help himself this week.
I'll bet you a Todd Gurley jersey he doesn't break the record.
Ooh.
I already have 2 of them. What more do I need of that?
I want one. That's why that's why I'm making the bet.
For me, Mahomes, a little over 2,900 yards, 29 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Just he's taking the Chiefs' offense to new levels, and with the help of Andy Reid, it's been unstoppable.
Well, and NFL voters have also shown you lately they're going to love a quarterback who gets hot and takes a team to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan, Calais Campbell.
There it is right now. What's it say?
Is it wrong to give Kirk Cousins an All-Pro vote? Logan J. Bell responds, no, not really. He'd be top 3 for me.
Wow.
What's up?
This was
not crazy.
This was on Thursday.
All right.
When asked what his top 3 was, Logan gave Mahomes, Kirk Cousins at 2, Phillip Rivers at 3, Aaron Rodgers at 4, Drew Brees at 5, Cam Newton at 6. Do me a favor. I'm going to go ahead and screenshot that. Can you just send that to our cutesy little group chat? Just us. Just me, you, and Donnie.
All right. I can do that for you guys. But, I mean, some of them aren't that bad. Would you argue Cam Newton is one of them?
Yes. Cam Newton's definitely an MVP candidate. Cam Newton has been playing exceptionally well this year and has the Panthers in the driver's seat for a deep playoff run. Unfortunately, they're in the same division as the New Orleans Saints. That's
good football, though, man. That's good. They should have to play each other twice.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Both games should be primetime.
So I mentioned Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes' correlation of success. Who's your coach of the year so far?
I'm going to shock you here to a certain extent because you think it's Andy Reid. No, it's Sean McVay for a second straight year.
Yeah, I have McVay down as well.
See, I've argued that I think we talked about this earlier in the season. I don't think he can win it 2 years in a row, though, just because the only way he does it if he.
Well, we're not predicting for the end of the season. We're just saying right now, like who would your awards be given to? Find me a better football coach than Sean McVay right now.
It's not John Harbaugh.
Yeah. I almost want to say Andy Reid. I honestly
and see, like, that's like acceptable too. I feel like McVay has a little bit more control of his team in terms of his defensive performances, but the Chiefs have nowhere near the defense that the Rams do.
No, but I think what Andy Reid has done to Mahomes is incredible. I mean, in that all of a sudden this is first year starting, he's outstanding. I mean, he's playing like he's been doing it for years. So that's where I kind of lean towards Andy Reid on this one.
I bring this up a lot. I feel like we need to talk about it more often. Andy Reid really is one of the best offensive minds the NFL has ever seen.
He is. He doesn't get the credit.
He is a quarterback guru. He truly is. He's gotten the best out of all sorts of guys. Yes. Who's the most overrated team of the first half? Boys, I'll take this one off your hands. It's the Baltimore Ravens. You can't start off the season 4-2, claim you have the best defense in the league, and talk about how your quarterback is a potential MVP candidate, dropped 3 straight games. After having a defense that allowed just over 10 points per game, you have given up 84 points over the last 3 games. Completely dropped yourself out of contention. No one has any faith in this team. Your fan base is up in flames. Nothing seems consistent about this team. This was a team at one point in time that we were talking about as potential division champions and maybe going to give some of the rest of the AFC a run for their money, because while offenses were going off, this was a historically good-looking defense that has shit the bed. Baltimore Ravens easily the most overrated team of the first half, and that kills me to say.
I'm going to take a different route. I'm going to go NFC on this one. I'm going to say the Packers. Very overrated. You're sitting right now at 3-4-1. You're letting the Vikings at 5-3-1 and the Bears at 5-3 take over the division right now, and you lost to the Rams, and then again you lost this last week. I mean, again to the Patriots. So I mean, what's going on with Aaron Rodgers? What's going on with this offense? Defense was playing better against the Rams. They showed up and they had a pass rush again. So the inconsistency is there. And what's going on with this team? This is a playoff team. They're not playing like it.
It's a playoff team because of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I think it also might be time to look to move past Mike McCarthy, who I think might be the most overrated head coach in football.
I would not disagree with you.
Yeah, I couldn't disagree.
They tried
either.
last year, I heard. They were thinking about moving on from him.
Here's the only problem. Who are you going to get?
Exactly.
There's no
the
good
problem.
candidates.
Whenever Steeler fans claim they want Mike Tomlin fired, I'm like, who do you want?
You got to get that new college talent. Is the only
And here's the thing, is the Steelers and the Packers, they can get whoever they want to be the head coach, but no one's available right now.
Mike McCoy? Like, are you kidding me?
No,
Even going to college right now.
Dude, that is exactly why I don't think I can't think of the Cardinals head coach right now.
Steve Wilkes.
I don't think Steve Wilkes will get canned within the next couple of years. It's just that the Cardinals, they've been doing this for so long, and what head coaches are out there? They know who's in the market.
Well, why don't they call Greg Williams? He's clearly getting called all the time.
Hey, just walk in and sign this for me, please.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Kill the body. Kill the head.
Most overrated team in the first half for me. I did have the Ravens down as one of them, but I'm going to go with the 4-4 Super Bowl defending champion Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes.
Remember how talented that team was?
You improve your roster in the offseason. The pieces are still there. You didn't lose any terribly big major pieces. And you're 4-4 going into week 10 coming off of a bye?
Who called it? Early in the season, I said they're overrated and they're not going to get back there again. I still think they're not going to make the playoffs this year.
Talk about a Super Bowl hangover.
Yeah. Dude, they look awful, man.
Their offense is missing, and I don't know what's going on with Wentz, but...
Wentz isn't the problem.
Wentz is playing once again at an MVP level.
Yeah. Wentz is playing really well.
But they keep adding more pieces for him to throw to, so what more? Is it really him, or is he can't work with the pieces he
Listen,
has?
they just got Golden Tate. We'll see how much that helps him.
Ajayi's out for the year.
Yeah.
Corey Clement's a piece of garbage.
Ajayi wasn't any better.
Ajayi was a lot better.
Steady
that's
dose
not saying much.
Their run game was terrible, and it still is. They should have looked at the trade deadline for something.
I just think a team as talented as Philadelphia.
Call for Tevin Coleman once the season's over.
Exactly. A team as talented as Philly, they shouldn't be having the problems that
Or
they
Lamar
are, so.
Miller.
I don't think Miller ends up being a free agent, but Mark Ingram's also a free agent.
That's very true. I don't think he wants to play second fiddle to Kamara anymore.
No, not unless they're going to give him $10 million.
Nah.
All right, most
Especially if he
underrated
gets
team.
a ring this year, I'd walk.
Most underrated team in the first half.
Oh.
I'm going to say the Houston Texans. When are we going to start talking about the return of J.J. Watt to Defensive Player of the Year candidacy? Deshaun Watson, another quarterback playing at an MVP level.
They're 6-0 right now. They're on a 6-game win streak, too.
They're playing out of their minds. Now, Watson hasn't picked up where he left off last season because of how insane that run was, but he's starting to get in another trend.
And everybody started to kind of write him off after his week 1 performance.
He just needed time to get back into his groove.
Yeah.
And he's helping Lamar Miller play a lot better. They're still waiting for Deontay Foreman to come back into the fold. They get him an offensive line, and I mean, the sky's the limit for this guy. Bill O'Brien knows what he's doing with Watson, which is funny because never in a million years would I have thought Deshaun Watson would have been Bill O'Brien's kind of guy.
Right.
But he's working the offense around him. And he's still got the pieces on defense. Kareem Jackson has had a complete resurgence this year in their flex role. And when are we going to talk about Honey Badger? At least more consistently.
Yeah.
Because he's been playing phenomenal football this year.
He's not like 2015 Honey Badger, but he's definitely improved.
This is a Pro Bowl player, though.
Yeah.
They got guys scattered all throughout the field. Benardrick McKinney is still a great middle linebacker. Whitney Merciless hopefully will get going soon. And, of course, Jadeveon Clowney is Jadeveon Clowney. He's got himself 6 or 7 sacks on the year. We're not talking about him. Donnie, just for fun, who's going to end the year with more sacks, TJ or JJ?
JJ. TJ's not.
TJ's giving him a run for his money.
TJ's just not consistent yet.
Half his sacks came in the first week of the year?
Yep. Well, so far he had a couple more sacks the last 2 weeks, but through the first 4 or 5 games, he had 6 sacks and he was tied for the league in the NFL. He had 2 3-sack games. Other than that, he was very quiet. But Baltimore did a really good job double teaming him, but that freed up people in the middle as well.
I think mine for the most underrated is going to be the Chargers. I mean, they're quietly 6-2. We don't talk about them a lot because of the Chiefs. Melvin Gordon's playing like a man on a mission.
Yeah, that was also my team. The Chargers just don't get talked about a lot. And, they went through another year with the injury bug biting them pretty hard. And, defensive rookie of the year, Derwin James.
Oh, my God, he's insane.
Playing lights out, man. Phillip Rivers is doing Phillip Rivers things like Skylar alluded to. Melvin Gordon's playing on a whole other level. He's getting pretty decent, okay production from his receiving.
Keenan Allen's doing everything except scoring touchdowns.
Julio.
But Mike Evans is getting in the end zone in the meantime. Not Mike Evans, Mike Williams.
Yeah, Mike Williams.
Mike Williams has been inconsistent. I mean, he started off the year hot. He went cool, and now he's starting to pick it back up. But that offense needs to get going against wide receiver and consistently if they want to really make that push for the playoffs.
Now, you got to think they're competing without Joey Bosa.
Yeah.
They're competing without Hunter Henry. They're competing without, what's his name, their corner. Is it Casey Hayward or is it the other one?
Jason Barrett.
Yeah. They're down a lot of key
Yeah, they are. The injury bug hasn't been kind to them at all. But also, if you want to be that guy, look at who they played. They've played really weak teams thus far. And I know you can only play your schedule. You can only play the teams that are in front of you. But we haven't seen the Chargers play like a really good football team this year. Beat a football team this year.
They still have to play the Chiefs twice.
Yeah. All right.
Sleeper team?
Team's taken care of. Yeah, sleeper team going into the second half.
I'm going to take you guys off guard. The Colts.
Okay.
This is a weak AFC.
It is.
The division is still up for grabs. Anything is possible with Andrew Luck at quarterback. He's making Eric Ebron look like a Pro Bowl kind of player.
The old Detroit Lions tight end, Eric Ebron. Him.
Yeah.
Him.
He's got 6-7 touchdowns on the year. He's been a red zone guy.
Jack Doyle's back, though.
Jack Doyle's back. You know what? I don't worry about. I think they're actually going to be very effective as a 2 tight end kind of team, especially with the lack of production from their receiving core. Marlon Mack playing at a whole other level the last few weeks.
Dude's a monster. I didn't think he'd be that good.
Yeah.
I knew he'd get better when he came back from injury, but he's playing great.
You can't sleep on Naheem Hines either, who's been an absolute stud for them.
Yes.
And Quentin Nelson has a legitimate claim to offensive player of the year.
Dude, we were so far on the hype train for Quentin Nelson whenever he got drafted in there. It's really nice to see him play well. The Colts, actually, their offensive line have been playing extremely well, which is so odd to say.
Forever.
So odd to say, yeah, forever. They've always had problems protecting Andrew Luck, but they've definitely stepped it up. Skylar, who's your team?
I'm going to go Miami. I looked at the rest of them. There's a lot of them that are really predictable, so I can't really say sleeper, but I'm going to say Miami just because when you get Tannehill back, the offense is going to get more consistent. We're going to start featuring Devontae Parker, whatever way they want it, if they're going to use him to trade next year or actually keep him. But he's a good wide receiver, and if they get him going, as long as – and friggin' Kenyon Drake, I'm really sick of seeing Frank Gore take all his carries when this dude's clearly better. If they can get that going, they have a good defense, and they can actually give the Patriots run for their money. Hopefully not as – in a piss-poor performance like they did the first time they played the Patriots, but maybe they'll beat them on the second.
My sleeper team is going to be the Bears. They are currently in the lead of the NFC North right now. but nobody's really talking them as a potential contender. I've always been in the mindset that you win Super Bowls by running the football and playing defense. What do the Bears do? They run the football, they play defense.
And they have the best defense in the NFL.
They do. And it was really nice that they got Khalil Mack as well in that trade.
Stupid.
I don't think they can match up with the Saints. I think the Saints would run them into a shootout, and it's something Trubisky isn't capable of doing yet.
Not yet.
The team is only going to go as far as Mitchell Trubisky will take them. But in terms of just a sleeper team that can make a playoff run, I think Chicago fits that mold really well.
You know what's funny? Just talking about their defense. I was talking to Brian the other day about this. Shout out to you, Brian Betcher. Their safety, Eddie Jackson. It's so funny. He still does not do anything great. He's not a fantastic deep coverage guy. He's not a fantastic tackler. But you know what? That guy is always around the football. He's
Same
always
with Adrian
there.
Amos, man.
He's just...
And Adrian Amos doesn't do anything spectacular. I mean, he's just kind of there, and he plays well. It's,
They get turnovers.
Yeah.
That's all you need from him at the end of the day.
All right. We made our Super Bowl predictions at the beginning of the year. Do you guys remember yours by chance? I remember mine.
Mine was Battle for LA.
That's right. Richie, do you remember yours?
I know I had the Saints for sure.
Same. I also had the Saints. I had a Saints-Jaguars Super Bowl before the season started.
That might have been mine, too.
Maybe. But we are now hitting the halfway point of the season, so I guess technically as a podcast group, we can change our Super Bowl predictions. If you had to bet money today, go down to Vegas, which actually sounds a really cool idea. Go down to Vegas, put money on a Super Bowl. Who's it going to be?
I'm still sticking with the Saints, but we're keeping this battle in the South because the Houston Texans are going to Atlanta.
Okay. I like it. Skyler, what about you?
I think it's the Patriots and the AFC, and the Rams still keep the NFC. I
feel like that'd be a really cool Super Bowl to watch.
Oh, it will be, because I'm going to be cussing my TV out. We beat the Patriots after the dirty SOBs screwed us out of some Super Bowl.
I got
That's going to really suck when Steven Gostkowski kicks a game-winning field goal as the second.
No, they do. They go get Adam Vinatieri just for that game, just so he can kick the game-winning field goal.
I have the Saints still in the NFC. I'm sticking with that side of the prediction. I got the Chiefs right now. I think if the Chiefs and the Patriots were to meet again, I would like my chances with the Chiefs. Chiefs defense doesn't need to be all that great in order for the Chiefs to win. They've proven that all year. And I think Mahomes will capitalize on a second chance against, but it has been a very good Patriots defense this year.
Well, the good news for the Chiefs is Dee Ford is playing out of his mind right now, and you're still waiting on Eric Berry to come back.
Hopefully soon, man.
Did Houston just come back, or has he got one more week?
I don't know. He sucks.
Dude, yeah, he's not the player he used to be.
They've been excited for him all year, and I'm just like, which Houston are we getting here? Are we getting the one of pass, or are we getting the old one where he can't do much?
Yeah, I'm shocked the Rams didn't call on him.
Gentlemen, week 10 of the NFL season is upon us. We have 4 teams on bye this week. The Ravens, Broncos, Texans, and Vikings all get to sit on the couch and watch action this week. So we'll go to just each game, kind of make our little predictions. Thursday Night Football, Panthers at the Steelers. One of the better games of the week, actually. I'm surprised TNF was able to get this game.
Thursday Night Football games have been better than Monday night this year.
Yeah, 10,000 times agree.
Monday night has been shit football games. And it doesn't stop with the Giants and the Niners playing this Sunday night. Woo! 3 wins.
Yeah, did you watch Monday Night Football whenever they advertised like the next Monday night game between the Giants and the Niners? Catch Saquon Barkley, Rebecca Jr. and the San Francisco 49ers. Right, man. That's basically it.
Pretty much. Nick Mullins.
All right, Panthers, Steelers, who you got?
Give me the Panthers.
Yeah, I'll take the Panthers as well.
I was going to say, and give me the Panthers as well.
That's going to be a good football game, though.
Panthers all the way around.
Saints travel to Paul Brown Stadium to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. I'll take New Orleans.
Yeah, New Orleans by 10.
See, I want to say New Orleans easy, but the Bengals always put up a good fight. And without AJ Green, that's where I'm kind of leaning, where I'm like, that's where they're going to falter. But if they get their run game going, I think they could beat the Saints, but I'm going to take the Saints.
Okay, I'll take the Saints as well. Falcons travel to Cleveland to take on the Browns.
See, this is a 50-50 game for me.
I agree.
There's a lot of injuries in the Falcons team.
This is actually my upset of the week. I'll take Cleveland over Atlanta.
I'm thinking about taking Cleveland.
I was thinking the same thing, too. I mean, Baker Mayfield needs to play lights out. He needs to get his running backs going because Atlanta's a terrible run defense team. If they get
Well,
that
the
going.
good thing is that the Browns all of a sudden know how to use Duke Johnson now that Todd Haley's out of the picture.
Oh, finally. Well, it took forever.
Yeah.
A lot of fantasy was pretty pissed drafting him in the later rounds and him getting 0 most weeks.
A NFC North battle, Lions travel to Chicago to take on the Bears. The Bears.
Give me the Bears.
Give me the Bears by a lot. Point spread is 6.5. Bears will cover.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Matthew Stafford cannot stay upright. He got sacked, 10 times last week? That's insane.
10?
10.
Against the Vikings?
Oh,
Yes.
geez.
Danielle Hunter at 3.5 sacks. Danielle Hunter has 11 on the year.
Dude, he's dirty. I like him a lot.
His career high is 12.
Oh man, this is gonna be a slaughter. The Cardinals travel to Arrowhead to take on the Chiefs.
Give me the Cardinals by 30. Sorry, Chiefs by 30.
Oh,
Chiefs
okay.
by 30.
Oh, okay.
I have another fantasy league. You know what's funny? They have Josh Rosen starting against me. And I'm like, why? And it's because the Chiefs defense sucks.
He's like, well, have fun with that. All right. Yeah, I'm taking the Chiefs on the blowout.
I'm taking Chiefs too. I mean, Arizona defense is good, don't get me wrong, but their offense ain't going to beat the Chiefs right now.
I will tell you, I would not be shocked if the Cardinals can put up 20-25.
See, I wouldn't either, but they need to get David Johnson going. He needs to have a 100-yard rushing game and at least 50 yards receiving.
I'll go for just a bold prediction. Josh Rosen throws for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Ooh, okay.
That'd make Arizona happy.
This game's kind of... I feel like it shouldn't be kind of up in the air for me. Patriots travel to Tennessee to take on the Titans. Titans coming off a big Monday night win in Dallas. It's still the Patriots, though. It just depends on what Marcus Mariota shows up that week, I suppose.
Well, you had Deion Lewis showing up this last on Monday, so that's a big plus.
I snagged him a week before.
I know you did.
Stashed him. That's definitely going to be my fantasy out of the week.
Yeah.
However, like Donnie said, what Mariota is going to show up, because for every good game he has 4 bad ones. Don't worry, everyone's hearing me blow my nose the whole fucking time.
You're good.
So
I think the Tennessee could win this game just because the Patriots been really inconsistent. But I'm going to take New England in a close game.
Yeah, I think you have to roll with the Patriots. The Titans haven't shown they can be consistent or tough enough to beat them, but playing at home field definitely does help. Redskins take on the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay.
Give me the Redskins.
That's another toss-up game for me as well.
believe it or not, Buccaneers have a 3-point win. That's the spread.
Really?
Bucks by 3. Give me the Redskins by 2 possessions. They're going to go off.
Okay.
Who's going to go off? It's particularly.
I don't think it's anyone off on offense. I'll tell you, Ryan Kerrigan gets not double-digit sacks, dear Lord, 2+ sacks. And I think that they can force quite a few turnovers. Ryan Fitzmagic is great, but he's still prone to turning the ball over. 2+ picks.
I think they have to pass the ball just because of their guards being down, and I think that's where we get Chris Thompson going off this game.
I would be very surprised if Thompson does not start to become more relevant than Adrian Peterson in the next few weeks.
Yeah, I'll take the Redskins as well. Another thriller for us in the AFC East. The Bills visit the Jets at the Meadowlands. Basically, yeah. Yeah.
What? That sounds like a
tough.
better Monday night
Can we
game
just
than
say
what we're
tie?
getting.
We'll just say it's a tie and be done with it.
I'll
Give me Darnold.
Yeah, I was about to say I'll take the Jets at home.
Until the Bills can prove to me that they can do anything on offense, I will pick any other team against them.
Do we know that Peterman's starting, or is it Anderson? Is he back from concussion?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I
mean-
think if it's Derek Anderson, the Bills win. If it's Peterman, Jets win.
Boys, honestly, can we play as well as Nathan Peterman is right now?
Yeah, we could play better.
You guys have seen Richie throw the ball. I feel like my
we can play
mechanics are
worse.
just as good.
Can't play worse.
That's pretty much my thing, is like, you set the bar pretty low. Just let Richie throw 5-yard screens.
Did you
to
see what
LaShawn McCoy.
See what EJ Manuel posted on Instagram?
No.
Dude, what?
Dude, he
What
posted his
pedestal
story.
is he looking down on, honestly?
He posted this Instagram story, basically just like trash talking the Bills, like, oh, like this dude can have like 3 interception games, and he's still starting quarterback, but I'm not the quarterback he was, or like something like that.
I'm sorry that you are the most fabricated first-round pick I've ever seen for a quarterback. 2013 was so bad that we had to talk ourselves into EJ Manuel even being a top 60 pick, let alone a top 16 pick. Although that's kind of what we're looking at this year for the quarterback class if Justin Herbert doesn't declare.
So Jets.
Bills. Bills of Anderson, Jets with if it's Peterman.
All right. Divisional battle. Jaguars travel to Indianapolis to take on Andrew Luck and the Colts.
Give me the Colts.
Yeah, I'll take the Colts. Just not confident in this Jaguars team anymore, man.
But Fournette's coming back. You know what? Let me change it. Give me the Jags.
Oh, wait.
Fournette's going off.
He just tore his hamstring again.
Cute. I'll take the Colts. I don't think they'll be able to keep up with Andrew Luck.
Oh, he's got a knife! No!
What do you have? A knife! No!
Chargers take on the Raiders. This is the beginning of the 4:05 p.m. Eastern Time game slot. I'll take the Chargers. Make 7 in a row.
Chargers.
Why does it have Oakland plus 10?
Oakland plus 10?
That's what.
Oh, wow.
That's what they have
What?
it as.
Dude, you're reading it wrong. The Chargers win by 10.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
What's it say for Oakland? Is it plus or minus?
It says plus 10 next to Oakland. That's on CBS.
Yeah, plus 10.
Yeah, plus 10.
So they need to cover the spread by 10. Is what
Yeah, so the Chargers are favored by 10. I was about to say, wow.
There's no fate in this Chargers team.
Well,
there it is. I've been waiting to see this.
They're going to blow out Oakland, though. I think Chargers are going to get the torch going with the wide receivers here and get that started.
Seahawks travel to LA to take on the Rams. It was a great game the first time around. What are you thinking?
It's going to be the Rams.
Okay.
They ain't going to get it. We beat them at home. They ain't going to beat us at home.
This is actually my upset of the week. I'll take the Seahawks over the Rams. Dude, the Seahawks are starting to turn the quarter, man. Russell Wilson has been a second-half quarterback every single season of his career. The defense is slowly but surely starting to come together. They're starting to get a little bit of a run game going. Hopefully Doug Baldwin can return to his form. I don't know.
I can see it happening. Not in
Actually,
LA.
my upset of the week is Browns over Falcons. Never mind.
I just don't.
I'll take the Rams. Thank you. All right.
You had to talk yourself into it.
I
So.
did.
There's too many pass rushers now on the Rams, and Aaron Donald's had Russell Wilson's number ever since he came into the league, and adding even more weapons on defense to get after Wilson, it's too much for him.
Aaron Donald has every quarterback on speed dial in the NFL.
Except number one on the speed dial is Russell Wilson. Most sack quarterback he's done.
Dolphins travel to Green Bay to take on the Packers. This might be a game.
Packers are 9.5 favorites. Dolphins are 5-4. Everything tells me I should take the Dolphins, but Aaron Rodgers is a bad man and a pissed off man.
He's playing at home.
Another bold prediction. I think Rodgers throws for 400 yards. I think he's going to tear
nice.
up a very solid Dolphins defense. Devontae Parker. I've been doing this all day. Devontae Adams, not double-digit touchdowns. 2 or more touchdowns. No, yeah, double-digit.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
10 touchdowns in this game.
Bold prediction.
Bold prediction. Rodgers doesn't throw all 10. Randall Cobb throws 3.
Got it.
Dolphins.
I'll take the Packers at home.
This Packers team worries me, and I don't know what their confidence is right now. And I think this Dolphins team is coming in here motivated. I think they get the win. They get solid defensive play. They get a little lucky on offense, get the run game going, and they beat the Packers.
Sunday Night Football, I was actually kind of surprised this did not get flexed out. The Cowboys travel to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles.
Do we have to pick?
Yeah, no. I'll take the Eagles at home.
See, I don't want the Eagles to win, but I know they're going to because Dallas is playing so bad.
Yeah.
Upset of the week. It'd be Dallas.
Okay.
Cooper's going to build off of a very successful first game with the Cowboys. I'm totally out of it right now, boys. Apologize a lot.
It's allergies. You're good, man.
Allergies, no sleep, spider bite, all sorts of good shit.
Like a black widow, baby.
I'm waiting to start shot web, but I can't shot web yet. But it's okay because Tank Lawrence is going to just keep dominating the way he is. If him and Clowney both hit the market, it's going to be fun to see who gets paid more.
Yeah, I'm not leaning one way or the other.
I think Clowney gets paid more.
we'll wait and see if they even both hit the market. If I'm the Cowboys, I tag him a second time, and if I'm Houston, I'm tagging Clowney. I'm not letting either of them walk.
I'm not sure if Houston has enough money. I think they have enough to tag him. They definitely don't have enough to sign him, from what I've read. But I'd have to.
That's all you got to do, just to keep him one more year, especially with their window.
Another phenomenal Monday Night Football game that will be brought to us by the ever so great Joe Tessitore, Jason Witten, and you can forget Booger McFarland.
Hey, don't hate on Booger.
I am.
But I got boogers.
Oh.
Look at them all.
I boogers. Giants travel to formerly known Candlestick Park, which is now Levi Stadium, take on the San Francisco 49ers.
I want to take the Giants so bad, but I'm not.
Can't.
No, Mullen. I'm riding the Mullen train.
And Mullins is such a good guy. How can you pick against him?
He really is. It's unfortunate because I kind of want the Niners to take this loss to put them in better position for the number 1 pick. But I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
I think the Niners are that much better a team. How funny is it that all it took was one stupid-ass boat trip in Miami before a playoff game for the 12-4 Giants to collapse to 3 wins over the last year and a half?
That's what happens, man.
They should have took Eli on the boat and then drowned him.
Yeah, I'll take the Niners at home.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. All right, so did we all get our upsets of the weekend?
My upset's the Cowboys. Yours was the Browns.
Yep.
Mine's the Dolphins.
And then cold hard lock of the week.
Cold hard lock?
Yeah.
I mean, how cold does this have to be?
Man, we'll talk snowy snowman in Antarctica.
Jaguars by 2 possessions.
Okay. I'll take the Bengals by at least. No, sorry. Oh, wow. Jeez. Help me.
You already said it.
Nope. Saints over the Bengals by at least 14.
Rams over Seattle by 10.
You with me? No one here likes the Bengals.
Or Seattle.
Dilly.
Dilly.
Lawsuit.
I'd like to see that Bud Knight come in here and try to kick our asses.
Stupid ass Bud Knight. Bring it on, bitch.
Miller Lite's better.
To the pit of misery with you.
Dilly.
All right, time for the fantasy football section of the program. Everybody's super duper favorite, obviously. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at the PTP Podcast. Also, hit us up on Instagram with the same name as well. Any questions, comments, concerns, ideas, go ahead and hit our Gmail account, theptppodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, Pile on the Pylon Podcast. If you're listening to us on iTunes, please go ahead, drop us a 5-star review. We'd greatly appreciate it. And yeah, thanks so much, guys, for listening.
And Spreaker.
And Spreaker as well. And then shout out to our sponsors, Sea Giant Statement Games. Thank you guys so much. Go ahead and check those guys out as well. Can't really talk tonight. Fantasy football. Give me somebody to start this week.
Start Fournette. I know how incredibly scary hamstring injuries are. Yes, TJ Yeldon has played solid. Yes, they just traded for Carlos Hyde. But this offensive identity is Leonard Fournette. This team has struggled so much this year because Fournette's not on the field. Yes, you still stack the box against him. Yes, he gets under 4 yards of carry. He still carries that offense, and he's what makes them competitive. If he's good to go, and they actually took their time and let him rest, I think Fournette is ready to get back to 2017 Fournette. I see 100 yards and at least 1 touchdown.
My start of the week, Maryland Mack. Dude's going to go off this week.
Who?
Maryland?
Oh, my gosh.
Maryland.
Marlon.
Taking my heads off again.
Marlon Mack for the Colts running back. He's going to go off again this week and kill it, just like he has the last 2 weeks. Give me more of them. Don't look at me like that. Right? Don't look at me like that.
I'll take Tyler Boyd as a start this week. AJ Green's going to be out the next 2 weeks. Tyler Boyd's already had himself a pretty decent fantasy football season, but this one's going to lead to more targets. And with Boyd facing the Saints defense, that's about to be a up-tempo game, so it's going to be targets galore for him.
Who's your sit?
It's going to be Kerryon Johnson, Lions running back. Theo Riddick came back last week. Yeah, he was my sit last week. He didn't do anything. Theo Riddick came back, so that took away the pass-catching side of Kerryon Johnson.
Johnson's way better.
The Lions love Theo Riddick, and so do I. So No,
They love their average running back.
Yeah.
Remember Joik Bell?
Joik Bell. Amir Abdullah?
He's gone.
I'll kill you.
Yeah. Yeah, he was average. He was real average.
He just got waived today.
Fear Amir. Did he really?
Yeah, he got waived today.
Good.
Yeah, Lions facing the best defense in the league. They're phenomenal stopping the run in Chicago. So this is not the love about Kerryon Johnson this week.
Well, unfortunately, I don't want to piggyback off you, but I am. I'm going to tell you, don't start any of the receivers. Golden Tate's gone. That gives more options to Golladay and to Marvin Jones. I don't see it happening this week. I think Stafford still plays all right, but I don't see only one of them is going to have a decent day. The other one's going to get shut down.
Yep.
And I don't see more than 10 fantasy points in PPR leagues for the one that's, quote, going off. I just think this whole offense struggles. I still think Stafford's going to throw a ton, but that's because they're going to have to.
It's their O-line. I mean, 10 sacks last week, and they're going against a better Bears defense. I was scared to see how many sacks that he's going to take this week.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been told that Khalil Mack has been quiet lately, so maybe they'll be able to catch him off guard.
Who tweeted? It was somebody big that had that tweeted that to them this week. Who was that?
Oh, I couldn't tell you, but someone had tweeted out that in the first week after being traded from the Raiders, Khalil Mack and Amari Cooper both scored touchdowns, and someone responded, some no-name, this is what caught my attention, was, what's Khalil Mack done over the last couple weeks? He's terrorized quarterbacks, just because it's not on the stat sheet. Do you want to play against Khalil Mack?
No.
No. God, no. In fact, I would tell you, no offense to JJ, no offense to Aaron Donald, no offense to Von Miller, I will tell you Khalil Mack puts the most fear into me as a quarterback when I'm looking at one defensive player on the other side of me.
Yeah, he's lined up, he's sitting there, he's angry. He's always angry, and he's coming to hit hard.
Yeah, he's got a nice game face, and he will literally come at you from every single spot. He'll come up the middle, he'll come off the edges, he'll play inside. He'll drop into coverage every once in a while just to kind of throw you off, like, what the hell is he doing? And then all of a sudden, Nakeem Hicks puts me in the ground.
I mean,
Khalil Mack's terrifying.
He's like the Old Spice guy. You can't be scared of him.
Terry Crews? What?
Von Miller's not an Old Spice.
Von Miller was in Old Spice commercials.
What?
Yeah.
Power!
You said you can't be scared of the Old Spice guy. And I'm like, that's how you know Terry Crews, Old Spice?
Dude, everybody hates Chris. That's Terry
White
Crews,
chicks.
baby.
White Chicks is Terry Crews.
And I need you. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
So
I
my
miss
system
you.
this week is going to be
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Jones, the running back for Green Bay. Just
Aaron
because
Jones?
Aaron Jones.
I just don't have any faith in this Packers backfield, especially going against Miami. A lot of people are starting them in fantasy. Just don't even. Just find someone else.
Sit Le'Veon Bell this week. I said it. I said it.
Is he going to show up? He left Miami.
We have to know by tomorrow, right?
What's that?
Tomorrow's the final day. We have to know, right?
Nope, next week.
I thought it was this week.
Next week.
It doesn't matter. If I'm the Steelers, yeah, I'm probably going to give Bell a king's ransom of carries just to get my money's worth. And, you know, why not keep James Conner
40 touches a game.
for Bell?
Yeah. I want him to touch the ball 40 times a game if she's coming
Why
back.
not?
I heard a conspiracy theory about that.
What?
It was that Le'Veon Bell and the Steelers have an agreement that after the year's up, he doesn't play his whole year, and they'll rescind his franchise tag so he becomes a free agent next year.
It's not a conspiracy theory. It's probably what's going to happen.
Do you think they'll do that? They'll make sure he doesn't.
Why
play this
would
year?
they have James Conner, who's running phenomenally right now, who's younger and costs way, way, way less? Why would you want to go through this headache with Le'Veon Bell all over again? Just let him go. Let him walk. Get your third round pick. The Steelers are going to get a comp pick for him if you sign somewhere else.
It just seems like so much work for what they've done these last couple of years. All of a sudden, just like, we're just going to rescind the tag. You can do what you want.
The locker room doesn't want him back. You can tell.
Oh, yeah. I know they don't. It's just they put up so much effort for nothing.
Well, James Conner is such a better player to cheer for. Bell's kind of a douchebag.
Yeah.
James Conner is the guy
like
that everyone gravitates to. Ravens fans love James Conner.
Really?
Not as a player.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he pisses us off for only one game a year, but, you know. Dude, I was so excited. I was like, man, we did so good against him the first time. And then I was like, the Steelers also didn't give him the ball like at all. And then he tore us a new one. It's like, he's just that guy this year. It's just 1 year, right? I hope he succeeds. He's a very, very likable guy.
He is. Yeah.
Tore his ACL, beat Hodgkin's lymphoma's ass. Love him. That is
sleeper.
That is one of 2 Pittsburgh Steelers jerseys I would wear.
Who's the other one?
Alejandro Villanueva.
Really?
Yes.
I like him as a guy, not as a player, though.
I love him as a player and as a guy.
You love him as a left tackle? Take him.
I do.
Take him.
I don't want him.
Take him.
No, I want him to play against me 16 games a year. He got a Pro Bowl last year.
He did.
Because his jersey sold out in one night because he came out for the national anthem when nobody else would for the Steelers.
My sleeper this week is going to be Marquez Valdez-Scantling, the Packers wide receiver. He's the hot name in fantasy football right now. Rightfully so, especially with Geronimo Allison being put on
absolutely he is.
He was Aaron Rodgers' big time target whenever he needed a big play. I think he'll go for making splash plays, get himself a really nice role in the offense. And somebody that put it out my waiver article, Devontae Adams and Randall Cobb are going to dictate and demand the respect of the team's top 2 corners. So, there's definitely going to be matchups for Marquez to exploit, and hopefully he does.
My sleeper is going to be either Mike Davis or Chris Carson, depending on Chris Carson's status for the game. If he's out, pick up Mike Davis. If Chris Carson's healthy, you take Carson. Just because they tore up the Rams earlier this year, they're going to do it again. We're giving up too much to the run.
This probably isn't much of a sleeper because his last 2 games have been good.
Todd Gurley.
No. Shut up, you ass.
I hate whenever fantasy outlets are like, start Todd Gurley. It's like, thank you so much. Thank you.
I should have known.
Dude, I should have known. I wasn't going to, but now that I listen to you.
Exactly. You've just opened up my mind. Thank you, Sensei. No, he's had a good last 2 weeks, but they're playing the Chiefs. Everyone's overlooking the Cardinals. Start Fitz.
Really?
Fitz is coming on the last 2 weeks. He's got 14 and 29 points, respectively, in our league at least, over the last 2 games, where we do get bonuses for 100 yards and stuff like that. But he's also got 2 touchdowns over the last 2 games. Rosen likes him. Everyone knows who Fitz is. Who's going to cover him? And like I said, the Cardinals are going to have to throw this damn ball.
Yeah.
Thankfully, they got 3 guys who can catch the ball pretty good with David Johnson, Larry Fitzgerald, and Christian Kirk. I think Fitz is going to feast. I can see 100 yards.
Okay.
For the old man.
Throw a little bit of garbage time in there. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, boys, I think that's all in the docket unless we had any other questions or concerns for the NFL episode.
No, it was a really good episode, guys. The only thing I want to add in is with our sponsor, StatementGames.com. Tomorrow we're going to be starting our first tournament for this week. It's actually going to be the Rams versus Seattle. The prize is actually going to be a prize cigar. So if you guys want to get on that, you can hit us up. We'll post the link later tomorrow. Just join the link, play. It's free to play. All you got to do, just make your predictions right, and you guys get to win the prize. They'll send it to you.
Exactly. Make a statement.
Exactly. And, of course, we can't forget the OG sponsor, SeatGiant.com.
OG, day one.
You want to make sure that you're going to that game, go ahead and go to SeatGiant. They're going to get you the best price tickets. Use the promo code PYLON, PYLON, for an additional discount. Boys, I want to wrap up this episode, but not before I take a minute out of my day to rant about something. And it's been a hot minute.
It has.
I need to channel my Denny Green here. Donnie, how's this work?
How it works is my PC decides to restart again. Are you sure I can't take a rant this week? Just worry about the PC.
Do you want to rant at the same time? We'll go 30 seconds for both talking together.
No, you're good. You're good. Basically, every episode, someone gets the opportunity to take a minute at the end and kind of rant about anything. It doesn't have to be about sports. It could be about politics. #GoVote. It could be about anything that happened in the week. Like I said, it's basically 1 minute to do whatever they want. Richie, you ready? Like you said, it's been a minute.
I'm ready.
Here I'll be. All right, your mark.
It took me about 2 seconds to decide what I wanted to yell about.
Go.
Bench Flacco. Bench him. You know what you got with him. He's not going to get you over the top. Yeah, he started out the year playing okay, but he's completely collapsed over the last 2 weeks. He does not look dedicated to the game, but you know what? People's jobs are on the line now. You're sitting at 4-5. You got to figure out what the heck you're going to do. Like I said, you know what you got with Flacco, and he's not going to take you over the top unless you can limp your way into the postseason. And even then, I don't know if I trust him at this point because of what he has shown me over the last few years. In the meantime, though, you have a very, very exciting, electric quarterback in Lamar Jackson sitting behind him who you've been teasing us all year. You're just sitting there, just the tip, just showing me a little bit of what you can give for me. I want it. Just give me Lamar Jackson. Just give me Lamar Jackson. I'm begging you for it.
Can't score a touchdown on the first time.
He's outstanding. He's got all the talent in the world, and he can actually change this Ravens offense and make them explosive. He's got to be your answer.
All right, end rant. How'd that feel?
Hashtag just a tip. Hashtag the return.
Hashtag the return. Hashtag the return of the tip.
I like it.
I love it. T-shirts.
I would love a T-shirt that says return of the tip. Boys, that's going to wrap up the NFL edition of the Pylon to Pylon podcast. Coming up next is going to be the college football edition, something that Richie has been craving for weeks now, salivating at the thought of finally getting to yell at somebody about college football into a mic. So, boys, from all of us here, all of our sponsors, all of our loyal fans, all of the places you can check us out on social media, I'm Richard Bradshaw.
I'm Donnie Drew and
Skylar Burkhardt.
We'll see you guys again in just a moment.